Beep, 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 beep. Hot Ham Radio here. How's everybody doing? I'm driving around, not in my hoopty today. I'm in a fancy car. Just for a little while. I haven't done one of my hoopty mobile videos in a while. But, you know, when I get in the Watts mood, sometimes I feel like I need to get in my car and blab. I haven't thought about the Watts that much lately. I've been really caught up in this, in the Moscow stuff and the murder stuff, and Papa and Bubba and, you know, Bus and Bloop Bloop and all these people. So, you know, I'm gonna think about that. Tabitha Jane put out a video today that got me thinking on a Watts track again. She is very rightfully, in my opinion, dismantling the opinions of another YouTuber who put out some videos years ago about how the Watts family are a bunch of narcissists, which is the funniest. It's the funniest thing I've heard in a while. And I remember listening to those videos a couple years ago and believing them. But oh my, no. And lately, you know, I went really deep into the Watts case. Like, I tried half the time I was just not dismantling, but I tried to go through every possible avenue, at least on YouTube, like the history of the creators and the infighting and all regarding with Watts. And a while ago I was trying to go through my entire YouTube history back from like September 2021 to probably the middle of last year, 2022, because I wanted to see where the algorithm was sending me. Because as a person who just like found out about the Watts case like years after the case happened, I was so intrigued. And it's interesting to look back at where YouTube sent me as a person with no biases or opinions at that time. I've been on YouTube since 2015, like had an account, but the Petito case led me hilariously to the Watts case. So at some point I'd like to do a video just tracking where I went, like what videos were recommended to me over time regarding the Watts case and in what order, like, and then the different rabbit holes that I fell into. You know, there was a period of time when I really was so suspicious of NK, which is hilarious to me now. It was a journey. And I remember one of the first things YouTube recommended me to watch, the Watts case, after I watched all the interrogation and everything, you know, the body cams, a lot of, I think Armchair Detective was one of the first ones that I looked at. But he was already so far in it that I couldn't really parse through all the different videos he had done. So I sort of branched off, and that's when I found that lady in Australia's channel. And it was like, wow, she sounds so professional. She just knows. Yep. What a narcissist. What a covert narcissist Chris Watts is. And then I think it only took me until probably January of 2022 to realize it was all a bunch of convoluted hoopla that is somehow still on the internet. And what do I think now about the Watts case? What do I think? Because I have pretty much run the gamut. I have been in every extreme of opinions with this case over the past 2 years since learning about it. And yeah, I had literally never heard of it before August of 2021. Not kidding. Hadn't even watched the Netflix. So a lot of people can't believe that, but it's true. What do I think now? Well, I've been thinking about it a lot. And at the end of the day, I just think Chris Watts could change all of this. Like, he could appeal, he could appeal at any time. Yeah, he can't get the 35C anymore because it would have, I believe the 35C, there was a time limit for him to file that because it would remove some of the added charges, which would have made it easier. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know about all the little complicated details there, but what I believe is he could at any time still appeal, maybe get a trial, because he, by law, should have signed something that, and I believe he did, when he was signing everything, without really reading it, just signing away everything. So it sounds like he never received any of the discovery. Like, his defense lawyers, if you can even call them that, never delivered those items to him, or maybe the state never delivered them to his defense lawyers. Either way, that's illegal. Like, that's insane. Now, you could say he didn't want those, he was just done, but they charged him with the murders of his children, and he did not ever admit to that. Well, he didn't. It makes me crazy. I mean, all they got him on, if that trial had happened at that time, the only admission that he made was that he was guilty of homicide of his wife. If you guys remember the masterful Tammy Lee nonsense, which I thought was so brilliant at the time, and it's like, it doesn't even matter what the lie detector test said. It doesn't even matter if she even was doing a lie detector test. It's not admissible in court. Now, it did elicit a guilty. He did admit in that confession after that lie detector to killing his wife after seeing her unalive the children. I'm never going to be monetized, so I don't think YouTube's going to come for me, but hey, come for me, YouTube, whatever. It's true crime. You're not allowed to, whatever. I just don't know what he's thinking, and I don't know why people keep saying that the conversation that he had in Wisconsin is a confession. Like, yeah, it's technically a confession, but it's also like a bunch of word salad nonsense that was being put into his head while communicating with Cheryl and Cadle. Who knows? Like, that man before, so that was like, what, a few months? It was like the summer after he had been in prison, right? Like, it wasn't it 2019 when that interview happened in Wisconsin? So it was all fairly new compared to now. I don't really know what I don't know what he's doing. I think he's a very lost person, very confused person, which is why we still don't really know the truth of the matter. He could appeal because he never admitted in court. He never He never confessed to unaliving Bella and Cece. So what are we doing here? And after that interrogation, what did they do? They threw him in the hole, as it's known, right? For 30 days or more than that? So that alone can break a person. And imagine, I'm not saying I feel sorry for him, not at all. But this is just a sequence of events. If you're thrown in isolation after something, pretty quickly, immediately after something like this, what does that do to a person's mind? And not being, I'm sure he clearly knows nothing about the legal system, but to not see or review any of the discovery is insane. He would see, if you looked at the discovery, that there basically was no investigation. The minute that they interviewed him, the minute that they did that polygraph, that was it. And I know Tammy Lee complains about it and says, well, that was essentially that after the interrogation. Well, yeah, lady, yeah, it was. And now we'll never know, so thanks. So essentially, I just think, technically it's a Baker violation. Why did the defense was weren't they flying across the country and stuff? What were they doing? And why were the Watts family not allowed to communicate with Chris? Please, people, I would love it if you could tell me where I'm wrong, because this case is so convoluted, especially now, all these years later, 5 years later, pretty much. I don't know where I can find the truth. And I'd love to be proven wrong. It just seems to me that this whole case that they have against Chris Watts in Colorado is illegal. But at the same time, he doesn't seem to care about that. Which is why I think I got so frustrated with this case. I can understand why Lana got so frustrated with this case too. Because at a certain point, it's what the hell are you doing? And I don't know what his family's doing either. They all seem to have, they're not, the last thing they seem to be to me is greedy or narcissistic. They all seem to be very confused and misguided, and they seem to turn down all the best advice. They seem to get, quickly scared off by essentially trolls, people who are trying to get in the way. And then they're let down and they dismiss anybody that was actually legitimate who was working on their case. Yeah, I don't know what they're thinking. And was Chris, what was his goal this whole time? And during the 35C, what did he want? What did he want to do? What did he think was the truth? Does he even remember the truth? Or has he completely has his mind substituted the truth with so many other possibilities and dreams, and just imagine all the communication that he gets too, of people writing to him, putting ideas into his head on all fronts, And I think good evidence of that is reading that Cadle book, because that book is insane. What the hell is he talking about? It sounds like someone wrote a screenplay and made him read it. I don't know, and I didn't there's just, I wonder what he thinks today about all of it. I wonder what, in his heart of hearts, what does he know to be true? Okay? Because it is still a disservice to the memory of Bella and Cece and Shanann. Okay? Because as long as he stays silent and doesn't doesn't quite know what happened, there's still going to be a lot of suspicion surrounding this case. And I don't know. I still can't wrap my mind around it, because I think it's very clear. I still think it's very clear that those girls lived in a very abusive home, as far as just very stifling. I think their mother was just not well equipped to be a parent, and I think she knew that, but she had to put on a good face. I don't think she meant to abuse her children. I think that was just something that maybe she had learned. This is just, from everything I've seen studying this for so long now. Well, not so long. Not as long as a lot of you. But for like 2 years. And I mean, I really, really got in there. That is the one sure thing to me, is that those girls did not live in a safe environment or in a very happy environment. And that's what still keeps a lot of people talking about this case, I think. And do you ever wonder if Chris Watts knows that? Like, does he know that people are still talking about all this stuff? Does he know that people are showing a lot of receipts about his wife? I mean, I don't know how, I don't understand why people are still running around like defending her name when everything is still on her Facebook page. Like, there's evidence. I know a lot of it has been scrubbed, but I was shocked how little has been scrubbed, honestly. You can still go find some of the most alarming videos right there on her Facebook page. I posted one a couple months ago. Yeah, I just needed to get that out of my system. Thank you, Tabitha Jane, for reminding me. I really want to start listening to Mia again. I think she's great. She's always on point. She's always got, receipts. She likes to think very critically about things too. Neek Speaks continues to put out incredible work too, that pretty much backs up all the stuff about the girls. And there's a lot of good creators out there, but I sort of had to take my mind off of it for a while. But whenever I go back and listen to some of these newer creators who are still fighting that fight for Bella and Cece, I remember why I cared about this case for so long. And I think that at the end of the day, I'm most angry at Chris Watts. Whether he unalived one or all of them, or none of them, I am so angry with him that I don't get it. I don't get it. Because I'm sure at this point, so many people have reached out to him and explained his rights, but he must not want to hear them. And that's my opinion, folks. Now, I am going to get out of my car. Hope y'all have a wonderful week. Beep, 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 beep. Bye.